Okay, welcome to the first episode of Slinger Sports Podcast, hosted by me, your Slinger, Ryan S. Slinger. A little bit about the podcast, what we're going to be doing. First episode, going to be a shortened episode, 15-30 minutes, depending on how fast I want to talk. But setup will get a lot better. We will be streaming these on YouTube once I verify that. But as of right now, these are just going to be 30 to an hour long episodes just talking about sports and what's going on in the sports world. I am a junior at Penn State, broadcast journalism major with a minor in sports studies. Always loved sports, always loved talking about sports. From Chicago, so biased a little bit on the White Sox and the Bears and the Blackhawks and all that, whatever's going around with them. But all right, let's get into this. So we got our topics. This will be beginning of every episode. We'll go over the topics, as obviously you can see them on the screen. But all right, so the topics for today's episode, August 23rd of 2023. We have the White Sox and New York Yankees downfall. We are going to be talking about that. I got a lot to say about the White Sox, got a lot to say about the Yankees. Then we're going to go college football conference championship predictions for the Power 5 conferences, Big 12, Pac-12, Big 10, ACC, SEC. We're going to go through all that. UFC 292, a little bit late. That happened Saturday, almost 5 days ago. And then we're just going to talk about what's going on in sports. We might talk a little bit about fantasy football. Not on here, kind of just improvising. We're going to talk about fantasy football. Talk about scores of everything that's going on today, highlights, basically everything that has to do with sports, MLB, NFL. Soccer's going on right now, and your Miami's playing Cincinnati, so talk about that because that game should be over before this episode ends. So let's get into it. Let's start with the White Sox and Yankees downfall. So the White Sox yesterday fired their GM, Rick Hahn, and their vice president. Honestly, as a White Sox fan, firing Rick Hahn was the best thing that we could have done amid our rebuild. We're going back into a rebuild. I don't care if this year was our season. I was one of those people who said this year was our season, and guess what? Now we're like 45 and like 76 or something. So, all right. This article's from Sports Illustrated. So the White Sox not had a great year. Started off against the Astros, split the series with them 2-2. Started off the season 9-21. 9-21. I already knew. I already gave up on the season at that point. We can't even blame it on injuries this year. Yohan Moncada was a stud before he got injured. Hasn't been the same since he got injured. Eloy's always been injured. Luis Roberts been our breakout year. Benintendi's been good. Don't get me wrong. Gets on base, good defensively. It's just not what we're looking for. We need players that can do everything. So the White Sox on Twitter today. Oh, I didn't want to load into Twitter, but okay, we'll go with that. Chicago White Sox announced that Ken Williams, the executive vice president, and Rick Hahn, senior vice president / general manager, have been relieved of their responsibilities effective immediately. White Sox will begin a search for a single decision maker to lead the baseball operations department and anticipate having an individual place by the end of the season. This is amazing for the White Sox. The White Sox needed to get Rick Hahn out of there. Rick Hahn traded away all of our talent. We had Marcus Semien, Chris Bassett, Fernando Tatis, but we won the Tatis trade. Don't want to hear it. He's traded so many now superstars on, like, not even role players, just players who have been very good over a certain span of time. Marcus Semien. He wasn't the greatest with the A's. He was good. He was good with the A's. Not not what the A's were looking for. They traded him to Toronto. He was a stud on Toronto. He had a really good breakout year with Toronto. And then he signs with Corey Seager on the Rangers. And we all know how good Corey Seager and Marcus Semien are in that middle infield. Just their bats alone provide enough for teams to want him. I don't know the exact not the exact definition, but the exact details of his contract. But I know he got a bag. He really got a bag. So the White Sox signed a new head coach this year, Pedro Gaffal. It's the hitting coach from the Royals. So going to a division rival, nobody knew how good he was going to be. It's his first year as a head coach. I don't blame him at all. Some of the decisions he does make, he makes them a little too late. He lets them play a little bit. But I think he just needs to get better at making decisions earlier. We had very good trades. We got 2 top 5 prospects out of the Angels farm system for Giolito. We got another 2 top 5 prospects out of the top 10 prospects out of the Dodgers organization for Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly, along with Trace Thompson, who was originally drafted by Chicago. We traded Kendall Graveman for Corey Lee, the Astros' 11th best prospect, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure on that. But I know he was top 10, top 15 prospect for the Astros. And we got... Who else did we trade? I don't remember. Irrelevant at this point. Keenan Middleton for some pitcher from the Yankees. And what sucks is what all of these guys that we traded have done after they've been traded from Chicago. Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly, both been studs under a 2 ERA with the Dodgers. Giolito hasn't as regressed on the Angels. He has close to like an 8 ERA. Keenan Middleton has like a 1.9 ERA. It's an under 2. But all of them are doing very, very good. Kendall Graveman, he's doing very good back on the Astros, I should say, the team he was originally drafted by. But I think Chicago has made a very good team. I think Jerry Reinsdorf needs to sell the team. He ruined the Bulls when we had our 6-peat with Phil Jackson because Phil Jackson hated him. And the Bulls have never been the same since. The White Sox have never been the same since. He's got all the money he needs. He's got all the money he could ever want. Why the hell hasn't he sold the team yet? Doesn't make sense to me. So enough about the White Sox. We are going to go to the Yankees, thanks CBS. Yankees have tied their franchise longest losing streak of 9 games since 1982, as it says on CBS right here. Yankees. You're always supposed to be good. They're always supposed to be good, but obviously they're not. They're not good. The White Sox won the season series against them. I think we're 4-2 against them. We don't play them again. It's a dub for me. But the Yankees can't blame everything on the injury of Aaron Judge. It's the team. The Aaron Judge, there was a stat that I saw. I'm going to try and look it up for you guys. But the Yankees record with and without Aaron Judge. Yeah, we'll go on StatMuse. Love StatMuse. The Yankees have a 24-30 record without Aaron Judge. 24-30. I get he's your captain. I get he's the captain of the team. But there is no shot with how much talent the Yankees have. Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, who's fallen off a bridge with the Yankees. He was good on the Marlins, not very good on the Yankees. He has his moments. DJ LeMahieu, he's okay. He was all right. Good contact hitter, good at getting on base. He was in the running for the batting title, I believe, in 2020 or 2021 when Tim Anderson won it. Or Tim Anderson almost won it. Now, if we look at their record with Aaron Judge, 36-35. They have a winning record with Aaron Judge and a losing without him. That's not how it should be. Your team should be good regardless if you have your best player or not, because you build around your best player. Because look at the Angels. Look at the Angels. They have the best player in baseball and the second best player in baseball in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. And what's their record right now? I'll tell you. Angels record. They are 66-61 with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Granted, Mike Trout was out of all of July, and he just got reinstated yesterday after breaking his wrist. But 61-66 with the best two players in baseball? You've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, there's no way the Los Angeles Angels should be as bad as they are. Games against... Okay, they have had a rough stretch. A very rough stretch. You should be beating the Tigers. You should be beating the Pirates. You should be beating the Yankees. Division rivals, you have to be beating them. Granted, Shohei Ohtani can't pitch every 162 games because that's just unheard of. Yes, he's probably the best player in baseball, probably the best player we've ever seen, but he can't carry a whole team on his back. You've got to build around him. You got Taylor Ward now, Randall Grichuk, C.J. Cron, Joe Adell, who's supposed to be the greatest damn center fielder since Mike Trout, hasn't been on the team very much. I don't even know if he's on the team right now. They have Ronaldo Lopez. Okay, whatever. Then Mike Trout 2.0. Where's Logan O'Hoppe? He's supposed to be really good. I think Eduardo Escobar got traded or something. Okay, enough about the Angels, because that's not what was on the topic for today. The Yankees. The Yankees need to do something. They should have done more at the trade deadline when they could have gotten more out of Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, literally anybody. They need to call up Jason Dominguez. Jason Dominguez made his AAA debut last night, knocked 3 hits. I think you might have been 3 for 4, 3 for 5. I don't know. I just know he knocked 3 hits in via minor league baseball hotline or pipeline on Instagram. But they need to do something. Fire Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone has not been the coach for them. They had Joe Girardi before. Nobody liked him, and then they went and got Aaron Boone, and now nobody likes him. So I'm going to go back to the White Sox on this. The White Sox fans hated Tony La Russa. I was one of them. I did not like Tony La Russa. I did not like the way he made decisions because he's old. And I'm not saying being old is a bad thing, being a manager, because you have all that experience. But you are supposed to like your head coach. Your head coach is supposed to make everything, not everything. He's supposed to make most of the decisions during games. Aaron Boone he's one of the most ejected managers in the league. He's always arguing always arguing calls, always arguing balls and strikes, and he's always getting ejected. You can't have a head coach that's a hothead, in my opinion. You can't have a head coach that's a hothead. If he's a hothead every once in a while, yeah, that's fine. But you can't have a head coach that's doing that all the freaking time. But Yankees won't. I don't believe the Yankees will make the playoffs. I think they're last in the division. Yeah, they're 60-65, the only team in the AL East with not a winning record. They don't have a winning record. They're 17 games behind. Okay, we'll go to MLB.com, look at the wild card standings for the AL, because I don't think the Yankees still have they're 10 games back, but all it takes is one bad streak of games, like the Yankees have. The Yankees have lost 9 straight. I think they're winning right now against the Nationals, a team that they should be beating. They should be sweeping them, actually, but they are not. They are definitely not. So I think the Yankees need to go back into a rebuild. They need to build around Aaron Judge. Don't trade away your prospects. Develop your prospects. Anthony Volpe's been great. He had a walk-off. He had like a game-tying 3-run home run a couple days ago. Oppo Field. He's not bad. I just don't think. I don't think the guys they have on their team right now are going to do anything to help them win a World Series right now. So, with that, we're going to stop talking about baseball for the time being. Thank you, Bleacher Report. I don't like going to Bleacher Report because a lot of the stuff they have is just improbable, to say the least. Like, their lists are not the great, so we're just going to we're kind of going to go through this. They'll give their predictions. I'll give my predictions. And we will go from there. So, all right. Let's go through this. AAC. Okay. I'm just looking at Big Ten. Not Big Ten. Power 5. ACC. Clemson Tigers. I like this pick. They're probably one of the best. They're probably one of the best teams in college football right now. They're a top 5 team in my opinion. But Florida State is up there. Florida State is going to be a problem for Clemson. If Clemson cannot beat Florida State will take the ACC. With the departure of, if I butcher his name, please don't come at me. Uiagalelei, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He transferred to Oregon State. For what reason? I don't know. I think he's playing baseball there. I think he got drafted. Not 100% sure. But Clemson. I think Clemson is going to be the front runner in the ACC, and with FSU right behind them. It'll either be Clemson or Florida State, in my opinion. I think they have it right here. Even in the first line, Clemson or Florida State or Clemson. I think it's one of those two teams. Can't really bet against any of them. Florida State's had a really good offseason, getting a lot of transfers, a lot of signings. Same with Clemson. Clemson lost their starting quarterback, but I think their quarterback now, who has been behind Uiagalelei, I don't know how to pronounce his name, will end up taking the ACC. I think it'll be Clemson, Florida State in their championship game, unless that can't happen. But not really familiar with the ACC. Big Ten, Michigan. I think it'll be. I'm biased. I may be biased a little bit. If Penn State or if Michigan, I don't think Michigan wins out. They gotta go against a quarterbackless Ohio State and Drew Aller. Can you please load Bleacher Report? I want to do this. Thank you. All right. Back to Michigan and Ohio State. The game, I think Michigan's going to blow out Ohio State unless Ohio State's defense has something to say about it. Marvin Harrison III, or junior, same thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the best receiver in the nation this year. Being a Penn State fan, it hurts to say that, but he will be. He will be the best receiver in college football because they lost Garrett Wilson. They lost Olave. They lost Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't know. He's on the Seahawks, so they really only have Marvin Harrison Jr. left as the number one option. But granted, Ohio State breeds wide receivers, so I have no clue. What Penn State needs to do to win the Big Ten, to win the Big Ten East, to win the Big Ten Conference Championship, They need to beat the winner of the game. They need to beat the winner of Michigan, Ohio State. And I know Michigan, Ohio State is the last game of the season, but they need to beat the winner of that game. So if Penn State beats either Ohio State or Michigan this year, we have Michigan at home, Ohio State away. Whoever we beat, if we do beat them, presumably, we need to be rooting on that team that we beat in the game. It's as simple as that. Drew Aller is sophomore, 6'5", I believe, and people are comparing him to Josh Allen. People are putting him in the Heisman running, preseason Heisman running. People think he's going to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I believe he will be. J.J. McCarthy actually went to a high school about 30 minutes from where J.J. McCarthy went to high school. They played our high school once with J.J. McCarthy, and they smoked us. The champion, spoiler alert, no, Bleacher Report, you're wrong. Ohio State doesn't have a quarterback. We haven't seen anything from Ohio State yet about their quarterback situation. They're between three people, and we don't know how good those three people are going to be. Penn State will have something to say. I believe Penn State will have a top 3, if not the best defense in college football this year. We lost Joey Porter Jr. We lost a lot of our good senior players. But we have a lot of young and oh my freaking God. Bleacher Report. That's why I don't like the Bleacher Report. I hate Bleacher Report. Okay. Back to Penn State's defense. We have Abdul Carter. Great linebacker. Wears number 11 like Micah Parsons. I think he can be just as good or a little bit worse than Michael Parsons was. I'm not saying he's going to be the face of our defense, but he made a lot of good plays last year, especially against Auburn. He had a lot of great plays against Auburn last year. On the road, too, in an SEC stadium, and we smoked them. Penn State needs to beat one of Michigan or Ohio State, which we haven't done in 2 or 3 years. I don't think we beat them in 2020, 2021, 2022. I think we beat them in 2019. I think we beat Ohio State in 2019. I think that was the blocked field goal that we returned with like a minute left and during the whiteout. I believe that Penn State, Michigan, or Ohio State will win the Big Ten East. I don't know about next year with the addition of USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon. Those are 4 very good West Coast teams. But, again, I have no clue. I know Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the nation right now. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the nation, without a doubt. He's going to go number 1 next year. Probably to the Cardinals, because Cardinals suck. But I believe that if Penn State really wants to win the Big Ten East, they need to beat Michigan or Ohio State, preferably Michigan, because they're the front runners right now. We need to beat Michigan. And we have Michigan at home this year. So it's 100% possible. Then the West, Wisconsin, Iowa, whatever they have here, probably correct. Iowa, we have Penn State as Iowa at wideout. Hopefully that's a win. They have Cade McNamara now. So I'm thinking Penn State go probably the same as last year, 10-2. Hopefully 11-1 or 12-0. 12-0 would be great, but I think that's a little too I can't think of the word. It's too out of reach. I think it's a reach to go 12-0. I think 11-1, 10-2 are perfect, like middle area. Big 12, Texas. Horn down, baby. Texas. Texas has had their moments. Quinn Ewers is the shit. Quinn Ewers is very good. I'm glad he did not go to Ohio State. Are you? Fucking Bleacher Report, man. Texas. I don't know. I don't know how Texas loses the Big 12. TCU is not going to be very good. Max Duggan, Quentin Johnson were the ones who carried that team to a national championship about getting smoked by Georgia. Texas needs to beat Alabama. Not to win the Big 12, but to even have a shot at the national championship. They need to beat Bama. Quinn Ewers is going to be very good. Arch Manning is there now. I don't know what's going on between those two or who's going to get the starting job. I think Quinn Ewers will get the starting job. Quinn Ewers has showed a lot more potential than Arch Manning. But, again, I have no idea. But I think Texas is the clear winner of the Big 12. I think Texas is the winner of the Big 12 by a substantial margin. Don't care about MAC. Don't care about Mountain West. Pac-12. USC. What else do I have to say? Best quarterback in the nation. Defense scares me a little bit for USC. USC has always, even last year, they struggled with Utah. Cam Rising for Utah. Very good quarterback. I believe Bo Nix is still on Oregon. Bo Nix is a very good quarterback. Washington, who I think is in the top 25 for preseason AP rankings. Washington does have a very good chance to upset them. They just need to contain Caleb Williams. But I think USC still takes it. I think their offense scores at least 40 points a game, if not 35, 40 points a game. But I also think they give up 30, 40 points a game. So I think that division will be close, but I think USC pulls it out. SEC. I don't know who the quarterback is for Georgia, but I think off of their previous success in the last 2 years, I think Georgia takes it. LSU is a scary roster this year. Bama has a scary roster this year. Bama always has a scary roster. But I think in the back-to-back national championships that Georgia has won, I think they have the talent. They still have Brock Bowers, that freak of nature tight end that just runs through people. They still have him. I don't know. Their defense is always very good. So I think Georgia takes the SEC by a substantial margin as well. All right. Enough college football talk because that I don't like talking about. Whatever. What else do we have on the list? UFC 292 with my boy Sugar Sean O'Malley headlining for the bantamweight champion of the world against Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. Let me get his name right first. So if we just go ESPN.com, should have had this pulled up earlier. My apologies. UFC 292. If it'll load, please. I'd like that a lot. Internet here sucks. Can't help it. Literally as long. I just need it to load, bro. Come on. I got people that I gotta. Or not yet. I got people that. Yeah. Here we go. Articles, clips. Just go to the article. Here we go. Or well. Give me 1 second. We're gonna talk about the main card. we are going to talk about the main card on UFC.com. We'll talk about Sterling O'Malley next, or last, I guess. Yeah, not I guess. It will be. Okay. We're going to talk about one. I think it was prelims. No, it wasn't. It was the main card. We're going to talk about these top 3 fights right here. These are the ones that I watched the most. Neil Magny versus Ian Machado Gary. Ian Machado Gary is the next big thing, in my opinion. He reminds me, he's a tall Conor McGregor, in my opinion. Like, he didn't outclass him, but Ian Gary. Let me zoom in on this for you if I can. I don't think I can. 43 leg kicks. If you were watching the fight, you saw how badly Magny was hurt by those leg kicks. Ian Gary destroyed his legs. Destroyed Magny's legs. And that is what I believe won him the fight. You could see in the fight, Ian Gary, he would use his right leg, kick the inside of his left leg, of Magny's right leg, or the outside of his left leg, and Magny would wince in pain and be limping. He could not put any pressure on his leg, or on his left leg, because that's where Gary was kicking. Gary won by decision, unanimous in my opinion. Gary outclassed him. Gary moves to 13-0. He's one of those up-and-comers. I think he's going to be very good, and I think that he has a shot at the welterweight champion. I believe that he will become the welterweight champion at one day. This was just like, all you got to look at is total strikes. 296 to 29. Wei Li just demolished Lemos. Demolished her. She had control of the fight at every given moment. Lemos had two sub attempts. Wei Li she was either winning that fight by decision, knocking her out, or she was passing out as result of one of those submissions, if it had even landed. But Wei Li defending her strawweight title, she demolished Lemos. I think, if memory serves me right, is the largest strike differential in women's strawweight history. I can't do that math on the top of my head, but I think it was close to like 267 strike differential in favor of Wei Li. How does that happen? How do you let a fighter demolish you by that much? It was a 5-round fight. She won unanimously. There was, in the first round, 74-2. 74-2 strikes. Lemos played she fought way too passively. She needed to get she needed to fight. She needed to fight, and she didn't do what her job entitles her to. Second round, 49-5. Third round, 31-8. 28-13. Started making a comeback. And then round 5, if it'll even load, 114 strikes to 1. That should not happen. Lamo, that should not happen. You should not let that happen. It's insane. It's insane. 113 strike differential in the fifth round. Like that doesn't happen. That granted, she had 96 of her hits on the ground, but like that's where she did most of her jam. I'm surprised Lamo stayed in that entire fight. Props to her, but Whaley is just way out of your league. Now the fight I want to talk about. Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. 2-round fight. Oh, not even. This is like a round and like a fifth or something like that. It didn't even go a minute into the second round. Aljamain Sterling. It was a very passive first fight, or first round. But Aljamain Sterling won the round 10-9 with he landed about 19 punches in the clinch in the last 15 seconds of the round. And then Sugar, he had practiced it. He practiced the exact sequence of what happened before he knocked Aljamain Sterling out. Sean O'Malley slipped the left, loaded up the right hand, which is his signature right hand, and right between the jaw and the eye, right here, knocked him down. 19 unanswered punches. People are saying it's an early stoppage. I don't believe that. You can't just let a fighter Aljamain Sterling would not have tapped. He wouldn't have gone out. He would have died there. And knowing Aljamain Sterling, he would have died defending his belt. But Sean O'Malley, as we all know, new bantamweight champion of the world. I don't know who he will fight next. I'm not super into UFC. I know the basics. I know all the ranked not all the ranked fighters, but most of them, a little bit of them. But Sean O'Malley, masterclass. He defended both takedowns. In the fight, it is really the styles that they fight with. Sean O'Malley's a kickboxer. Aljamain Sterling, he's a wrestler. If Aljamain Sterling can't get him on the ground, he can't win, and that's what happened. Sean O'Malley takes it for the bantamweight championship. All right, let's go to sports. Just start with the MLB. Red Sox Astros tied 4-4. Really doesn't matter who. The Astros need to win a couple more games to surpass the Rangers for the title. That's going to be a tight title. That's going to be a tight division at the top, especially with Seattle being as good as they are and how surprising they are. They could make a wild card spot. I think they're in line for a wild card spot. I don't want to say that because I'm not 100% sure. Angels, Reds. Like we were talking about the Angels today. The Angels need to win. They need to beat these teams that they should be beating. The Reds, great start to the season. Ellie De La Cruz is one of the most exciting players in baseball right now. Love the guy. The Angels need to start beating the teams that they should be beating. Talked about that earlier. Not going to go too much into it. Cardinals, Pirates. Pirates had a really good start to the season. Falling off. 13 games behind 500 right now. Cardinals beat them 6-4. Not going to go too deep into that. The Cubs. As much as I do not like the Cubs, I will give them props when they are doing good. Cubs are 66-60. They're in line for a wild card spot. If they keep playing the way they have been playing, they will get a wild card spot. I don't know who they will be playing, but I do not think when the Cubs are playing good, I don't think there's a team that can. I don't think that there's a team that can beat them. Tigers are the Tigers. Brewers Twins. Brewers need to keep the lead on the need to keep the lead in the God need to keep the lead in the National League Central. If they give up the lead to the Cubs are only 4 games back. The Reds are only 4 games back. That division is still up for grabs with about 40 games left to go in the season. So that's a huge win for the Brewers over the Twins right there, because the Twins are also vying for a American League Central championship, winning it. White Sox Mariners. The White Sox should have lost this game. 100% should have lost this game. Errors by the Mariners in the 10th cost them that game. White Sox, I'm pretty sure, were up 3-1 going into the 9th. Gregory Santos, in the 8th, 3-1. Santos gave up 3 runs in the 8th. And then we scored 1 in the 9th. Or we scored 1 in the 8th, no scoring in the 9th. Go to the 10th. Mariners don't score in the top of the 10th. A pickoff move with Tim Anderson on second. Tim Anderson just goes as soon as he throws it to second. Throwing error by, I believe it was J.P. Crawford. Yeah, throwing error by J.P. Crawford. Goes into the stands. Tim Anderson advances home. White Sox win it. It's Royals Athletics, 2 garbage franchises. Not gonna go on it too much. 4-0. Doesn't matter. This game, I want to look at this. We'll just go to the box score. Giants, Phillies. The Phillies tie the game on this. Bryce Harper homers with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Or it might have been no outs. I don't really know. Hits the right field foul pole, ties the game. And then the bullpen comes in and gives up 3 runs. The Phillies are vying for a freaking playoff spot. 69-58. They've been very good. But Craig Kimbrell, you're supposed to be one of the best relievers in baseball, giving up 2 earned runs in the 10th. It's just unbelievable. If I was a Phillies fan, I would be pissed off. Reds Angels, first game of the doubleheader, 9-4. Like I said, Angels need to win these games. Reds also need to win these games that they should be winning. Padres Marlins. Padres have not been what everyone hopes. They almost have $1 billion in their infield. And Juan Soto, I guess. And they are below 500. Not even in contention for a wild card or even the division. Rays Rockies. Marlins. Marlins have good players. Sandy Alcantara. Regression year. He has not been good, but when he's on, he's on. As I say that, he got the loss today. Don't know how many runs he gave up. Doesn't really matter. He got the loss. Rays Rockies. This should have been a blowout. The Rays should have smoked them. Rays need to win these games with the Orioles winning as they are. The Orioles are making a resurgence, and I'll talk about them right here. Orioles take a huge game against the Blue Jays in the American League East Division. They blank the Orioles pitching staff blanks them. Dean Kremer, one of the best pitchers for the Orioles right now. Regardless, he has a 4.3 ERA, but it's 12-5 record. Can't argue with that. Anthony Santander has 2 home runs. He had a golf swing home run I saw on Instagram. That was pretty cool. But 7-0. The Orioles need to win these divisional games because the Blue Jays are vying for a wild card spot, and the Rays want the division. So winning that game against a division opponent, huge for the Orioles. The Yankees break the damn streak. They win 9-1 against the Nationals. Aaron Judge hit 3 home runs? Hold on. I did not know this. Yeah, Aaron Judge, we were just talking about it. Aaron Judge is the reason they win games. 4 at-bats, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. That is what wins games right there. Luis Severino also pitched a masterclass. 6 2/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Kenzie Gore also isn't the greatest. Well, let's see. They had 9 hits, or 8 hits. 3 of them were from Judge. Harrison Bader isn't as good as people thought he would be. Volpe had a hit. Torres had a hit. LeMahieu had a hit. Aaron Judge was their entire offense to 6 of their 9 runs. They would have won if Aaron Judge was the only person batting. Dodgers Guardians get suspended. They're gonna resume it Thursday. Can't really talk about it. 2 innings. Dodgers were up 3-1. Braves. The freaking Braves, man. They are good. 82-44. I think 40 games left? If they were to even if they were to win 20 out of the 40 games, they would finish 102-64. Which is insane. Granted, I know that doesn't add up to 162 games, but they will take the East. They will be the number one team in the National League. They will be the team to beat. They will have home field advantage in the playoffs, and you do not want to play at Truist Park when the Braves are hot. All right. One more little segment. We have fantasy football. We'll talk a little bit about this. What's going on in the league. Not fantasy baseball. Football. Here we go. So, to be honest, I'm just going to wing this. 49ers named Sam Darnold the backup to Brock Purdy earlier today. Trey Lance is most likely going to get traded. I don't know where. I believe he will probably get traded or he will be released and then some team will pick him up. I don't think anybody in the NFC West wants him. I think every team has a viable quarterback. Titans aren't going to want him. They got 2 young studs in Will Levis and Malik Willis behind Ryan Tannehill. Can't really think of a team that needs a quarterback right now. Could go with the Packers. Packers might pick him up, but Jordan Love, Sean Clifford can't really do anything about that. So just going to the rankings right now in PPR leagues. Talk about this for 12 minutes. If it would freaking load. Okay. All right, we'll just go through top 10. Mahomes, obvious, best quarterback in the league right now. I don't like Josh Allen at 2. At the second best quarterback. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are in a regression. They can't get past Joe Burrow or Mahomes. It's crazy to say with how good Josh Allen is, I don't think the Bills is the right place for him. I think they still have Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs. I don't think Stephon Diggs wants out amidst the rumors. Jalen Hurts should be the number 2. Jalen Hurts should be the number 2, especially in PPR leagues. Because Jalen Hurts, I think it should be 1, Jalen Hurts 2, Lamar 3, even Justin Fields 5 because of their running ability. They get so many points on the ground. Justin Fields is probably going to break Michael Vick's single season record, or Lamar Jackson's now. In the next year or 2, he might break it this year, he might break it next year. I don't know, but just because of their running ability, they need to be higher up. Joe Burrow, questionable. He had that, I forget what it was. It's like something in his quad, something in his calf. He should be back for the start of the season. I don't know how good he'll be, but Joe Burrow's always good. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. If Deshaun Watson plays good, the Browns could low-key be a contender in the American AFC North. But I don't think they get past Lamar or Joe Burrow, for that matter. Dak Prescott. I don't think Dak Prescott's going to be as good as people say he's going to be. I don't think Dak Prescott. Look at the rankings. They have him 10, 10, 10, and then 12, 11, 13, 11. They don't have him above 10. Dak Prescott can either be really good or he'll be really bad. Like, there's no in between. There's no middle ground with him. Running backs. We'll do running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and then we'll call it for a day. I think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in all of the NFL. He's the best running back in the entire NFL. Austin Eckler, with the addition of Quentin Johnston, and if Justin Herbert prefers to throw the ball a lot more deep, because he's now really into like check downs. He's looking like Tom Brady. I think it should be McCaffrey, Eckler, Barkley. Nick Chubb should be up there. So should Josh Jacobs. They should be higher than 8 and 9. Bijan Robinson, bro. At 4, he's a rookie. I think he's 6 or 7. You can't tell me that in a PPR. I think Derrick Henry should be out of the top 10. He doesn't catch passes. So, my rankings would have it McCaffrey, Eckler, Saquon, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is sneaky good. And then Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb. Because Jimmy Garoppolo loves to throw checkdowns. Loves to throw little swings to the running back. And then Jonathan Taylor here. I don't know what's going on with him if he seeks out a trade. He should go to the Bears. Just saying. Who else? Yeah, and then Etienne at 8. Ramondre Stevenson could be good, could be bad. Joe Mixon, same with Aaron Jones, because there's A.J. Dillon there. The one thing I don't understand about the NFL, the Jets have Michael Carter, Breece Hall, and now Dalvin Cook. They have 3 capable running backs who have all been injured in the past. So I don't know what's going on there. Do not draft Jets running backs, because they will all split carries, because that's how good all 3 of them are. Wide receivers, pretty easy. Number 1, yep, you see him right here. Gritty man, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is the clear number 1, with Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp being interchangeable. Like both of them. Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp gets a lot more receptions, especially if Matthew Stafford is healthy. Cooper Kupp will have a great season. I don't think he'll win Triple Crown. Justin Jefferson might get that. But Cooper Kupp racks up receptions. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. We can't really go wrong with these. Especially with Devontae Adams getting Jimmy Garoppolo. So, like a decent quarterback. My sleeper pick right now, Chris Olave at 15. With it, Derek Carr is looking very, very good in the Saints offense. I think that Chris Olave breaks the top 10 in fantasy wide receivers this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think it goes, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase or Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, Devontae, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 7. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a dog. A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson. CeeDee Lamb drops out of the top 10. And then Chris Olave moves up to 10. That's my opinion. That's just in my opinion. Tight ends. top 3 are all interchangeable. Yep. Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, George Kittle. Hockenson and Darren Waller are not better than George Kittle. George Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the league. He's top 3. Interchangeable with Travis. Travis Kelce is a clear 1. Interchangeable with Mark Andrews. I think it should be Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Hockenson. I don't know why they have Waller all the way up here. He's been injured. When he's good, when he's not injured, he's good. And when he's injured, obviously he's freaking injured. He can't play. Dallas Goedert, Pat Freiermuth are my sleepers. Dallas Goedert had a really good season last year. Pat Freiermuth is on the come up, even though, I'm a Penn Stater. He was a Penn Stater. A little bit of bias. But, okay. Stay away from Cole Kmet. As much as I love him, Justin Fields can't throw the ball. Who else? Mike Gesicki. I love Mike Gesicki. He's now fighting for targets with Hunter Henry. I don't like it. Evan Engram, sneaky good last year. I don't think that he will have the same year. He needs to learn how to catch the ball. David Njoku. Again, it's a quarterback situation. If the quarterback's good, they're going to be good. George Kittle, or Brock Purdy loves throwing to George Kittle. Mahomes loves throwing to Travis Kelce. And Lamar loves throwing at Mark Andrews. TJ Hockenson, last year, very good tight end. But he might be the 2. He might be the 2 option because it'll be Justin Jefferson, Hockenson, Jordan Addison if he can figure out his car, whatever the hell is going on with that. Kyle Pitts, do not draft Kyle Pitts. Do not draft Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts should not be 6. He should not be 6. It's a quarterback situation. If they have Desmond Ridder starting, and Desmond Ridder's not it. I don't even know who else they have. They might still have Mariota. They might not. I have no clue. But don't draft Kyle Pitts. If there is not a quarterback who can throw the ball to him, he will not be good. Who else? I want to go back to running back. I think that's it. I think that's all I had planned for today. What's happening in sports right now? Oh, that's what I wanted to check. I wanted to check Inter Miami with Lionel Messi defeat FC Cincinnati to go to the U.S. Cup Finals, I think it's called. U.S. Open Cup Finals, yes. Inter Miami was down 2-0. They scored. Okay, that's not what I want to look at. Where are the goals? That's all I want to look at. Report. Statistics. I can't find it. I got like a minute to look at this. ESPN load. Oh, match commentary. Key events. Here we go. Inter Miami ties the game in the 97th minute of extra time. Or in extra time. They tie the game. They score 3 minutes in to the extra time, and then FC Cincinnati scores in the 114th minute of the second half of extra time. And then Pens. Please load. As you can see, Inter Miami goes 5 for 5. FC Cincinnati goes 4 for 5. And Inter Miami takes it 3-3, winning in pens. Okay, that is all that I have for today's weekly recap. These will be coming out weekly. I don't know what days. I just kind of wanted to start it because I had nothing else to do. Nothing else to do today, at least. But yeah, we probably try and get one in. We'll probably try and do them on Sundays to recap the week. But I just wanted to get one out. There's a little preview as to what's gonna happen. Hopefully, this will be live streamed next time. But if not, then this will be uploaded next week. Next week. Next week in 2 weeks. No, next week. Next week we talk about predictions for Penn State, West Virginia, which I will be going to. That game will probably we will probably have a segment that is pre-recorded, giving predictions at the start, and then my final thoughts after attending the game on the Saturday, and then we will post it on the Sunday. So that's all I have. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun podcast, I believe. So yeah, we will get that ready for next week. We will post this as fast as possible. One man crew right here. So I will see you guys next week for Slinger Sports Podcast. Nice talking to you.